Hello, whiskey friends, far and wide. We are live. It is Tasty Tuesday. We are back doing it up with some whiskeys. Well, I guess what we can call what we're going to taste tonight whiskeys. We'll get into that in a second, but it is great to be back being out for a week. A bit under the weather, but I'm very excited to do tonight's show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I am beaming my signal, of course, from the windy city of Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. Where are you at? I see some folks in the chat already. Jump in, say hi. Let me know what's going on. Drop your city if you want your city to get a shout out here on the show. We'll get into the main event relatively soon, but let's start with some going around the horn here, saying hi to everybody. What's going on? We got 7 folks in already, which is great. First in the door tonight, Florida, the city of Jupiter. It's Mr. Gerbic. This is going to be a fun one. Yeah, it's something. Good evening, everybody. I'm pouring some Jameson. This is the only one on the list that I have here. Right on. Alberta, Canada's in the house. We are international already. It's been Demon Hunter. Looks like I'll have to pour some Crown when I get home. All right. Let's do it. The suburbs of Atlanta, GA. It's our good buddy IC86 representing the South. How's it going, man? Quad Cities of Illinois, just on the other side, my state, hugging the Mississippi River. It's our good friend Chris. What's going on, Chris asks, how are you, sir? San Francisco's in the house, holding down the bay. It's Gary K. What's up, man? Good to see you, sir. Great to see Gary in the house. East Tejas, our boy down in Texas. You know him as Daniel H. He is here as well. What's going on, man? Great to see you. Ontario's in the house. The Canadian crew jumping in early. It's our good friend Peter White. What's up, man? How are you, sir? Northern California. He's at work, but he's wishing us well anyways. Let's keep him entertained tonight. It is Mr. Donner Pat's Whiskey. Donner, your winnings from the Patreon raffle are in the mail. Juniper Lane, if you're watching, those are in the mail for you as well. Keep an eye out for those. Somewhere out in the hot Sun Valley desert of Arizona, it's our boy Leo. What up, Leo? Good to see you, sir. Did grab one of those screwball sample bottles. I couldn't find one around here, man. I wanted to. Well, want is one way to put it. Ben Dram Hunter. Uh-oh, look out. We got 2 of them in the house. What's up? New York City, Jack the Pickled Hound. Jack, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? French Connection. There you go. I mean, anything, really. Anything you can do to it, the better. Brooke Lottie, Isla 2022 barley in the house. Ooh, delicious, man. I have a bottle of that. I will be doing a side-by-side with the 2011 a little bit later on in the next month or 2. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Gary has got himself some Lagavulin 12. Oh, yeah, man. You know what's going on. Which year you got there? I mean, you can't go wrong with them, really. But I know results vary a little bit. Cognac and Amaretto. Well, there you go. It's the Canadian connection, right? French-Canadian connection. Daniel, hit me up with the 10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It is great to be back. I missed being with y'all last week. This was supposed to be last week's show. So 2021. Very nice. Thank you for that $10 super chat, Daniel Solange. James Chang, one of the fearsome twosome down there in Los Angeles, City of Angels. What's up, man? How are you? Great to see you, James. All right. So we got a lot of whiskey to taste tonight. So I'm going to just jump right into things here. So let me set things up a little bit. So 2 weeks ago on the show, you guys may have remembered, I was telling you about an article that I came across from VinePair.com. I will drop that link in the chat. Drink some bourbon up, Rob. So VinePair does this every year. They are a spirits wine website. And they just posted the top 20 best-selling whiskey brands in America, according to data provided by the IRI Worldwide. I just dropped that link in the chat. IRI is a market research firm that measures off-premise sales of liquors and things like that. So that's what we're looking at tonight. The list itself has 20 different whiskey brands. I picked, I picked 4 of them, mostly from what I could easily find here in Chicago. The ones that we'll be drinking are number 15, number 12, number 2, and number 1. So what I'm going to do is I will go down the list, tell you all what it is, and then when we get to the first one, we will begin the tasting sesh. So I'm going to get this first one poured here. I will just say, why am I even bothering doing this? Well, for one thing, I think it'll be kind of fun. For 2, it'll keep me humble. Every once in a while, it's good to go taste some of that stuff that other people are drinking to remind me how good whiskey is. And third, finally, is just to kind of take some pot shots at my own country here. Without getting political, the United States is known for all sorts of things, good, bad, and indifferent. And unfortunately, when it comes to things like mass-produced food and mass-produced beer, I think the United States gets relatively little love, nor should they. And definitely bring some chuckles from our friends in Europe and India and other places around the world who can't believe that we drink what we drink. Well, this list is an unfortunate testament to just how bad it actually is. And so we're going to taste a few of these tonight. So I'm going to go starting down the list here. I'm going to do a nose taste finish. I will put water on each. I will nose taste finish them again. I will give them a score. And then I will probably pour these down a drain or find someone in the neighborhood who wouldn't mind drinking these. All right. Now that we're set to go, here goes the list. Number 20, Canadian Club Whiskey. Number 19, Buchanan's Scotch Whiskey. Again, these are brands. Number 18, Knob Creek Bourbon. Number 17, Four Roses Bourbon. So there's some good ones in here so far. Decent. Number 12, Glenlivet Scotch. And now we have arrived at number 15, our first tasting of the night. I'm going to get my final sips of good whiskey down. Clear the palate. Number 15 is, and what I would also love, by the way, is if you have any experiences, likely bad, from the early days of your life, or maybe you actually do like these whiskeys, let me know in the chat. Number 15 is Southern Comfort American Whiskey. So here's what I can tell you about Southern Comfort. First and foremost, it's not really a whiskey. They call it itself a whiskey, but it's not really. First of all, it is bottled at 37 or 35% ABV, which is below 40%. It has flavor added to it, I'm sure. So let me just going to read what it says here on the bottle. 1874, blah blah Heron took harsh whiskeys from the time and mixed them with his own blend of fruit and spices to create a whiskey that could be enjoyed comfortably. Since then, Southern Comfort has been spreading the soulful, vibrant spirit of New Orleans. So yeah, it was created in New Orleans. It is owned by Sazerac. M.W. Heron, thanks so much for this. 35%, so that's 70 proof American. It does say whiskey all over this, even though it's debatable whether it is an actually good whiskey for that matter. Spirit whiskey. Here's what it says: spirit whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color. They're just proud about it, y'all. They're just straight up telling us right here. So this is the number 15 on our list of the top 20 most popular American whiskey brands. So it's basically a fucking liqueur, right? So whatever, but it's on the list. We're doing it. I will say, as a young person here in the United States, 20 some years ago, Southern Comfort, you know, this was one of those things you tried to get your hands on as a kid because it was one of the brands you knew, you thought it was cool, etc., etc., etc. Southern Comfort and Coke. These are very popular drinks here in the U.S. I have not consumed any of these whiskeys in 20 years, and I think this is one. This is one that I'm not going to soon very much like. So that's what the specs are. Proudly colored with caramel, 35% ABV. It is a liqueur, but they say whiskey. We're going to call it a whiskey. It's on the whiskey list. We're fucking doing it. Here is the color of the Southern Comfort. Okay. So here we go. SoCo. I will say before we begin, I'm going to have a nice dram or two after this. And I got one set up ready to go to cleanse the palate in a really quality way. So stay tuned for that. Here we go on the nose. Southern freaking Comfort. Oh, okay. So the nose of this is incredibly sweet, and it smells like candy. It smells like candy with a little bit of cough syrup. So we're talking like really, really sweet red fruits, like Skittles or licorice. That's really all I get. The nose is almost completely kind of like a red licorice, kind of like Smarties candy. It smells very artificial. If I was going to describe these fruit flavors more, strawberry, fake cherry, like you got a cherry icy at the movie theater, cherry Jolly Ranchers, maybe some watermelon Jolly Rancher. As far as whiskey notes, I really am not picking up anything. The nose is dominated by this. So here we go. Number 15 on America's top 20 whiskey brands of 2022. Southern Comfort American Whiskey. Happy Tasty Tuesday, y'all. Salan Shava. Here we go. Medium mouthfeel, very sweet, very much tastes exactly like the nose. A little bit of bite in the back, which maybe be a hint of oak, but it's hard to tell. It could just be the cloying, like a cloying bitterness. It is a very cloyingly sweet. This I could see you could just drink like water. There's nothing. Okay, drinking this neat is just terrifying. Let me do another one. Any whiskey that's in this has been completely masked over by the, again, fake cherry. It just like candy, like artificially chip flavored candy. The finish, there's a finish insofar as there's a finish on Southern Comfort. The finish of this is short. It is drying. It is artificial sweetness. This stuff is pretty awful. I'm thinking about why, like, if you put this in a Coke, which is what probably a lot of people do, I would say, I mean, this would give it just like a cherry flavor, but this is a very cherry candy flavored spirit. There is no alcohol taste to this at all. It literally tastes like liquefied syrup that you would put into like a cherry snow cone or something like that. Pretty damn awful. As y'all know on my scale, I mean, this is a 0.5, which is a absolutely do not buy. These go for around $22 to $25 a bottle here in the US for a full bottle. I wouldn't even buy this as a liqueur. I would get yourself a nice Luxardo maraschino cherry syrup if you really want a decent cherry flavor. This has no place on any bar. let alone to be sip neat. Yeah, 0.5 for sure. This is not a good start for America. I am going to put some water on it. I guess the real test tonight is, are any of the 4 that I chose going to get over a 1 out of 5? I don't know. So here we go with water. Here we go. It's still... So now I'm just getting kind of generic sweetness. It's just like generic. The cherry is pulled back. Now it's just straight sugar. It's kind of like those Nerds candy, like fake grape candy, the smell of artificial grape. That's what I'm getting more now. It's atrocious. The water doesn't do anything to it. It's just bad. This is just bad. No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm serious and I'm not trying to be a snob. I'm literally, this is a 0.5 out of 5. I see no reason for this to exist. The spices that they mention, I barely get anything. I suppose you get some faint red, like cinnamon red hot spice on the nose. But this is just... That's it. So here we go with water. Good, sweet, palatable, no bite, medium viscosity. Hangs around for a little bit. Oh. Even if you have a sweet tooth, don't buy this. I'm still waiting. Okay, so now with the water, I'm maybe getting a faint hint of some like oak. But yeah, okay. 0.5. And honestly, this one might be the worst of the entire group that we're going to do. Oh, it's so bad. Okay. SoCo, no go. That was really bad. And we got 3 more of these to go. So we're going to keep going. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Pull out some top lines. Last day of work, that's right. Our good friend Donner Pass is about to go do some travels. Get after it, man. 100% agree with you. 100% agree. Thanks again for that super chat, Daniel. I appreciate it after being a week out. How did you feel going through the store looking at those? Well, I mean, yeah, it wasn't a pleasurable experience. Yeah. Too funny. Juniper Lane is in the house. Texas, what's up? Hey, Juniper. It's great to see you. I apologize for the delay. Your raffle winning is in the mail as of today. I was out sick for a little while, so unfortunately I was not able to get that to you quicker. Life is too short. It is reminding me. It's reminding my palate what good whiskey tastes like. I completely agree with you on that, Icy. SoCo is just trash, y'all. No, don't. Our Canadian friends, you maybe have been spared this. I don't know if you see this around your way, but I wouldn't bother if you haven't. It is not tech. Ben says, when I was working at a bottle depot, this couple probably brought in 80 to 10, 100 bottles of Southern Comfort, all sizes. Yeah, dude. Hey, man. This isn't even a dig on the South. I'm not trying to... This is... The fact that they call this Southern Comfort, they should just call it, I don't know. Maybe we can come up with some alternative names. It is not... This is... Whatever this might have been at some point in time in the past, it certainly the hell isn't now. I did 3 drops. Yeah, Leo. Yeah, it's real. Oh, yeah, it's going to make its way out of here for sure. Seasoned whiskey takers like us are well past things like Southern. Yes, this is true. And I'm just been reminded of again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't get the black licorice much. Man, Peter White, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. $10 super chat from our good friend in Ontario, man. You rock, dude. That's super cool. Thank you so much. I mean, this is mostly fine. This came out of just our chat 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, you know, fuck it. I'm going to go run around and buy some horrible stuff. Thank you, Peter White, man. That means a lot to me, brother. All right, y'all. We're going to move on. Yeah, Southern Discomfort is right. That's right. Okay, we're moving down the list. Now, this one, I admit, was one that I wanted to get because I'm sure it's just absolutely awful, but I couldn't find it. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey comes in at 14 on the list. Unfortunately, I could not find that. And I will, again, share the list in the chat for folks who want to see the whole thing in real time. So no Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. That sounds absolutely awful. Number 13, Black Velvet Canadian. Surprised I couldn't find that one. No Black Velvet around, but we have arrived at the next one. Number 12, Seagram 7 Crown American Whiskey. Sadly, I had to buy a 375 ml of this. Anybody want to guess how much this cost? Seagram 7, first of all, Seagram's mostly known for its Canadian VO whiskey. That is not this. This is its even worse American counterpart, I would say. Famous for the 7 and 7 cocktail, which a lot of people here in the States drink, apparently, which is like 7-Up, this stuff, and like a lemon or a lime. They are owned by Diageo, the 7 whiskey company. This is going to be something. Okay, so here we go. There's a look at that label. When's the last time any of y'all had this on your bar? American blended whiskey. A whiskey of distinctive character, smooth, rich, full-flavored, without a trace of heaviness. Full-flavored without a trace of heaviness. How about that? It is 40% ABV. It is bottled and blended by 7 Crown Distilling in New York City. Jack the Pickled Hound, if you're in the house, I'm blaming this one on you. But there is something on here that you all really need to see. 75% neutral grain spirits. So what does that mean? That basically means ethanol, shit vodka. This is not a bourbon. There's not 100%, there's not corn, not even 51% corn. It's a wide assortment of just trash that they can call whiskey. Okay. Now, these are all, and I should mention, ubiquitous on bars in America. You can find any of these whiskeys in any bar. Here is the color. I'm going to just assume this has fake color in it. It looks non-chill filtered. Maybe they non-chill filter the freaking Seagram 7. Yeah, likely story, bro. I kid. Okay. So here we go. Seagram 7 American Blended Whiskey. This is number 12 on the top whiskey brands in America 2022 list from VinePair and ICI research firm. No other great tidbits of marketing fluff on this, unfortunately. I really do appreciate the part where it says it's smooth, rich, full-flavored without a trace of heaviness. And it has distinctive character. I think the distinctive character here is going to be the alcohol. Here we go. Seagram 7 American Crown on the nose. Okay. Well, this is different. I should mention, I think the last time I had a 7 and 7 in my life was probably when I was 2 and 2. The nose, sweet, maple syrupy, vanilla, but like, you know, if you buy cheap vanilla ice cream at a grocery store market and you open it up and it has that distinctive kind of pungent vanilla nose, but it's not quite like real. It doesn't smell like real vanilla, like chemically vanilla. That's what we got going here. Chemical, yes, or vanilla, maple syrup. No spices to be found. It at least sort of resembles a whiskey. Here we go. This is really all I get on the nose. It's a 2-note pony. I guess if I could find a third one again, it would be this kind of chalky Smarties candy type thing. Or like the smell of Lucky Charms, fake, those marshmallows in the Lucky Charms cereal, like American cereals with all those fake marshmallows in it. Yeah. Not good. I mean, to add this to a Coke would be bad. I see why you do 7-Up, because that's crisp, because this is sweet. This is like the syrup that you make a Coca-Cola with. Maybe a little graham cracker too. Okay, here we go. Great, or frosting, just vanilla frosting. Here we go. Okay. Medium viscosity. In fact, it is pretty full flavor. Oh man, my stomach turned a little bit on that one. So here's what's going on here. It's pretty medium mouthfeel. Oh God, I'm not being dramatic. That's really bad. That's just really bad. Oh, fuck. Okay, so here we go. You got the nose. Sweet, 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 sweet. So it arrives pretty medium, and for a couple seconds it seems okay. You're like, all right, all right. It's fruity. Well, let me take that back. The Jolly Rancher candy thing is back. There's a like very sweetened, like cheap caramel butterscotch flavor. And then when you think, okay, this isn't the worst thing ever, then you get hit with this sour bitter note that at first tricks you. The first sip I took, it tricked me. I was like, it's like a little oaky. Okay. And then it goes into fish. But after that, it's just alcohol. It's the grain spirit. Again, 75% grain spirit, it says on this, neutral grain spirit. It's just this like sharp, sour alcohol thing with like a fake sweetener added to it. So it's like almost worse than just vodka. Like a cheap vodka. At least cheap vodka just tastes like alcohol. Like medium finished, but you're just left with this sickly, cloying, again, maple syrup kind of fake vanilla. This is not good. I actually thought this is going to beat the 0.5 out of 5 that the SoCo got. I'm not sure now, but you know what we got to do. I want everybody to just, if you want to screenshot this, do it. I just want everybody to mark this moment in my life. I am adding drops of water to a Glencairn glass filled with Seagram 7 American Crown Whiskey. I just want to note this. 3 drops. Oh man, I'm very concerned about this. Okay, here we go. No change on the nose. So again, like this one before us, the SoCo, no change on the nose on these with water. And that's because there's nothing else to really show. While this one has a faint resemblance of whiskey flavor, I actually think it's worse than the SoCo right now. Because the SoCo it's just flavored stuff. Like it's cheap flavored. This is like trying to present itself as a whiskey, which makes it even worse. Absolute trash. Here we go. Okay. So again, medium mouth feel. It the water has pulled back that that sweetened alcohol flavor a bit, and it does taste a little bit hints of chocolate. Slightly, it does round it off just barely enough to make this somewhat palatable. Again, this would be in a 7 and 7 with 7-Up. I even then think that this is just too sweet. But again, Americans, what is the trend here? The trend line so far? We're known for the horrible sweetness of like all of our food. Everything we eat has got so much sweetener in it. This is right in line with that. It's all sweet. It's complete trash. But with water, I'm not going to be able to finish this dram. I mean, this is just, I just called this a dram. I just called this a dram. This is going back in. And you know what? Don't care because I'm never touching this again. This is better than the SoCo. I think if you really asked me if I had to drink one or two with water, this beats it 0.75 out of 5, which is still an absolute no score from me. But it is better than the SoCo. Good God. I'm not even past the neck, y'all. I got to wait until this opens up. What complete awfulness. So that is number 12 on America's top whiskey brands. This exact one, this Crown, a Seagram 7 Crown. Absolute trash. Michael Besley's in the house talking drain, but I don't think I would do that to my drain. Our good friend out in good to see you from Maryland. Pittsburgh's in the house. What's up? Dude. So many jokes I want to make. Oh, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's 100% what I'm going to do. He knows. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm just going to, I'm going to be like a Johnny Appleseed, just dropping these around the neighborhood. Oh, so we're making progress. Oh man, that's just really bad. It's more offensive to me than the Southern Comfort, but I have to say, in the end, with the water, it is a little more palatable, but not by much. Do not buy that. So a bottle of this, by the way, USD on the shelf, about $20-some. I mean, you literally could get a bottle of Jameson, or a bottle of Jim Beam, or a bottle of a lot of other cheap whiskeys that are light years better than this for this price. So just something to keep in mind. I don't expect any of you would buy this, but this whole like claims of why did you need? The only reason anybody buys this is because there's a number 7 on it, because you can say 7 and 7. That's it. I gotta get 10 whiskeys. I'd rather put in 7-Up than this. I mean, it's fun. Okay. All right, y'all. We're going to keep moving here because I really want to get through this. Again, so for those of you who are just joining, what's up? We are back after a week off. That's just got such a lingering bad taste. 2 weeks ago on the live show, we were discussing VinePair.com's top 20 most popular American whiskey brands as defined or as uncovered by ICI Worldwide, which is a market research firm. So I do just want to share this anecdote before we continue on our adventure. So this is how they frame it. America's thirst for whiskey is strong and shows no sign of diluting anytime soon. You see what they did there? Between Scotch, Irish whiskeys, bourbons, and even flavored offerings, the category is consistently innovating, with one cinnamon whiskey brand growing in popularity by over 20% year over year. I am sure that you good people know exactly what whiskey that is. So we are going to continue on. We are, the last time we checked the list, we just finished number 12, which is Seagram 7 American Crown. Number 11, Woodford Reserve Bourbon. Number 10, Johnny Walker Scotch Whiskey. Number 9, Evan Williams Bourbon Whiskey. Number 8, Bully Bourbon Whiskey. Number 7, Wild Turkey Bourbon Whiskey. Okay. Number 6, Maker's Mark Bourbon Whiskey. Not surprising to see that on here. Number 5, Jameson Irish. Again, no surprises here. Number 4, Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey. Number 3, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Which brings us to number 2. Once again, not technically a whiskey. Unfortunately, it was just referenced in the introduction to this. And it comes, I believe, from our friends up in Canada and known by drunk chicks in every bar in America. Ladies and gentlemen, number 2 on America's top whiskey brands, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Notice how they spell whiskey without the E, like they do here in the United States. And the cinnamon is so hot, it is burned through the label on the back. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Here we go. This is, again, 33% ABV. It says whiskey with natural cinnamon flavor. Again, natural doesn't mean anything. When they say natural flavors, it doesn't mean shit in the United States. Ignite the night. What you have here is a smooth whiskey with a fiery kick of red hot cinnamon. It tastes like heaven, burns like hell. What happens next is up to you. Ooh. So here we go. What else is there anything fun or else to say about it? I mean, their logo is kind of cool. It looks like a tattoo that, some guy at a, with a affliction shirt would wear. So it says whiskey with natural cinnamon flavor. Now, I don't know if they're leaving the E out so as to avoid any legal issues here in the United States. I can't imagine that that's the case. Again, they can say it's natural flavor. It's not natural in any meaningful way. I do believe that our friends Fireball here are from, made by a company in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. The Canadian, yes, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, which grew like wildfire. Listen to this. Sales in 2014, 863.5 million here in the States. Even now, the Canadian whiskey remains on fire with 5.65 million 9-liter cases sold in 2019. It is from Canada, or it is made in Canada. However, there you go. The company that owns it, Fireball Whiskey, I believe. Yeah. So we can thank our Canadian friends, I believe, for this. Here, if you want to know 11 facts about this crap, you can thank Canada for it. The origin story points to a Canadian bartender trying to warm up on a typical frigid Canadian night. Apparently, booze wouldn't suffice. The mystery bartender added cinnamon and sugar. Damn Canadians. People like to cook with it. It's inspired a bunch of imposters. It's setting world records. The current world record for most fireballs shots taken at ounce was set St. Patrick's Day in 2012 in Nashville, Tennessee. That day, 4,750 shots were taken at once. As it turns out, Nashville is deemed the fireball mecca for good reason. If there's ever another reason you need not to go to Tennessee, I guess there it is. It's related to Pappy Van Winkle, the legendary uber expensive unicorn whiskey that goes for $1,000 a bottle. Sazerac, the company that owns Fireball, also owns Buffalo Trace. So there you go. That's the tail of the tape on this monstrosity. This is the second most popular brand of whiskey, quote unquote, in the United States. It is going in the Glencairn as we speak. A nice, tall, quick-sized dram. Let me know in the chat, y'all. Anybody had any of this? Ben Dramonder, I did not know it was Springbank. Yeah, apparently, or Canadian. Apparently so. When I fly, I usually order Jack. That's smart. Speaking of bourbon, it would be fun to do a good bourbon night one of these days. Yes, sir. We should do that. I can't imagine this is going to be good. Yes, they do. They really do. We got 15 folks in, which is rad. Okay, here we go. Number 2 on America's Top Whiskey Brands 2022, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. For those of you who just joined, so we did Southern Comfort already, which got a robust 0.5 out of 5. Followed by Seagram 7, a 0.75 out of 5. Will the Fireball break 1 out of 5? Again, 1 is a do not recommend. Anything lower than 1 is an absolute no under any condition. You know what? I don't like what's about to happen to me. On the nose. Y'all get one guess what this smells like. Red Hot Cinnamon Candy. There are a little bit, okay, Red Hot Cinnamon Candies, definitely. There's a bit of like mulled wine spices too, so clove and cinnamon, a little bit of clove. Little clove, cinnamon. My country, man, I weep for it sometimes. This is made for shots. So you know what? I think the only way to do this is to take down this entire thing as a shot. So here we go. Cheers. I got to feel the burn. Okay, here we go. What exactly just happened here? It's incredibly sickly sweet, like syrup. It's like like a strawberry licorice, like Twizzlers candy. The cinnamon part is not very spicy. It tastes like Red Hot Cinnamon candies. If you've ever had those in your life, you know what I'm talking about. But it's not as intense as those candies. It's actually sweeter and duller. This is bad even by its own standards. That said, it is palatable as a stupid, goofy shot. I don't know what else you would do with this. It is by far the best out of the 3 in terms of just straight up drinkability. I'm putting a little bit more in the glass so we can put some water on it. My Glencairn of Fireball. Here we go with a couple drops of water. We got to open it up, let it breathe. Minute in the glass for a year in the cask, which means I should have drank this already because I'm sure it's like -5 years old. Oh, very sweet. Typical American stuff. I mean, here we go, right? The third whiskey. The third whiskey that is, again, just overly sweetened. If this actually just delivered on an intense cinnamon experience, I could be like, oh, hats off to it. I have never had this before now. And, you know, this is what you hear people say. They take shots of this. You go into any jock sports bar in America, any of that shit, like people just drink this stuff because it's like, ooh, Fireball, you know? Brilliantly marketed, pretty crap product. It's way too sweet. The nose smells more like, the nose is the best part. It smells a lot like cinnamon Red Hot candy with a little bit of clove. That's it. It's all you get. It's 33% ABV. It's not even really technically a fucking whiskey. And why that is, and this one in particular is because it's got the flavor added to it. And it's, yeah, not being at 40% makes it not a whiskey. The nose is just awful. Or not awful. The nose is okay. It's still too sweet. Now, like, I'm thinking of an alternative, which unfortunately wasn't on this. It was like Jägermeister. When I was a kid, Like when I was a young kid, that's what we would do shots. It was like Jaeger, like the weird flavored shot you would do. Jaeger at least had character. This is just sweet cinnamon candy. And it's not even that hot. It doesn't have any burn at all, or else I've just had too much crap whiskey. Okay, here we go with water. Again, no difference on the nose with water. Sweet Twizzlers, strawberry Twizzlers, candy, just sugar, very, very cloyingly sweet. And then you get this little back like hit of cinnamon, but even that cinnamon hit, while it has hints of like ground cinnamon, it's still too sweet. It's not good. But as an experience, compared to the Seagrams and the SoCo, this is much better than the SoCo, in my opinion. It at least has some defining character other than like fruity sugar. And the Crown, the Seagram 7 Crown, is just like a whiskey or a toilet water trying to pretend it's whiskey. This, look, if I was in a bar with some people and they were like, let's do a shot, and you could choose between these three, I would take the Fireball. If they were like, you can have a glass of these, which three would you take? I would probably still take the Fireball. But it is not good enough to go above a 1. So I'm going to sit at 0.75, meaning this is an absolute no. This is an absolute no. So it's still 0.75. So 0.75 out of 5 on the Fireball, 0.75 out of 5 on the Crown American 7 whiskey, and 0.5 out of 5 on the Southern Comfort. What trash. Why do people do this? I don't know. Okay. I am going to just go get a brief refill of water, and then we are going to get into America's #1 whiskey brand. Be right back. All right, y'all. And we got 17 folks in, which is awesome. Leo's going in for some Fireball. What up, brother? I see you, man. Get after it. Get after it. Get after it. There you go. Can't remember what it was called. Black licorice with a coffee bean. Like Zambuca? I didn't. I didn't die. I did not die. Yeah, man. Real talk. I'm with you, Leo, all day. Leo, he says, Horse Looning gave it a good review. Look, man, we'll talk about Horse Looning later. Put a pin in that. No, you're right, Michael Busby. It's not. No, you don't want it. Hey, Greg McDonald, North Carolina. Why are you putting yourself with that whiskey? Take that brewer's hat off and put on a pirate's hat. No, sir. No, sir. What is the score? I was watching before this. This came from a live stream we did 2 weeks ago where I was talking about this. 7-4 Brewers. There we go. I was talking about this website, VinePair, which I'm going to drop it in again. This is the list of America's top 20 whiskey brands, according to market research. Alan, the whiskey friend, is in the house. What up, Alan? Good to see you, man. Here it is. So it's in the house. What up, Dram, dude? So yeah. again, so this is all comes from a chat 2 weeks ago that offhandedly happened where I was telling folks about VinePair.com, a pretty big website here in the United States. Their top, they do this every year, the top whiskey brands according to market research. The list is, the link is in the chat. And I was able to find samples of 4 of them. I was going to do it last week. Unfortunately, I was sick. So thank you guys to the folks who, stuck around and came out tonight. Good to see Dram Dude in the house. So we're talking, I grabbed 4 of America's top popular whiskey brands. I grabbed number 15, number 12, number 2, and we were about to do number 1. So again, we are about to do number 1. I'm going to give you guys the list one more time. This is market research. I don't know what you say what you want about our dear country. I'm sure Lady Liberty is weeping whenever I say this list. I'm sure bald eagles are falling out of the sky. Number 20, Canadian Club Whiskey. Number 19, Buchanan Scotch Whiskey. Number 18, Knob Creek Bourbon Whiskey. Number 17, Four Roses Bourbon. Number 16, Glenlivet Scotch Whiskey. Number 15, Southern Comfort American Whiskey, which got a robust 0.5 out of 5. For me, number 14, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Number 13, Black Velvet Canadian Whiskey. Number 12, Seagram 7 Crown American Whiskey, a 0.75 out of 5 tonight. Number 11, Woodford Reserve Bourbon. Number 10, Johnny Walker Scotch. Number 9, Evan Williams Bourbon. Number 8, Bullet Bourbon. Number 7, Wild Turkey. Number 6, Maker's Mark. Number 5, Jameson. 4, Jim Beam. 3, Jack Daniels. 2, Fireball, which got a 0.75. And now the number 1 most popular whiskey brand in America. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, gifted animals, Crown Royal. So what we have here is a fresh half bottle of Crown Royal Fin de Luxe blended Canadian whiskey, a product of the Crown Royal Distilling Company, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, 40% ABV. This is the most popular whiskey brand in America, according to market research firm IRI. The last time I had a original Crown Royal, or any Crown Royal for that matter, has been probably too long to even count. But despite all the numerous flavors of Crown Royal whiskey they have, I decided to just get the regular because I want to, show deference, I guess. Look at this. So this is the little half bottle I got. Look at that. It's a screw top, but it's got like a little crown on it. Let me know in the chat. I know there are some good Crown Royals out there, including the Harvest Rye or whatever, which was Northern Harvest Rye, which got some award years back, and the XR I know is pretty good. So this is just the straight up original. I know people who used to do shots of this when I was younger. I'm sure it's still a shot whiskey at the bar, probably. Here's what it has to say. Crown Royal, exceptional smoothness, the standard of excellence for Canadian whiskey. Any of my Canadians want to chime in on this? A blend of distinct full-bodied Canadian whiskey. Notice the full body thing. They say full body. Seagram said full body. A blend of distinct full-bodied Canadian whiskeys matured to perfection in white oak barrels. Wow, this is more information than we've got in any of the other ones. Crown Royal was first created as a gift for the King and Queen of England in honor of their visit to Canada in 1939. To this day, every bottle of Crown Royal whiskey is crafted to meet the same uncompromising standard. So basically what we're about to drink tonight is whatever they think is worth the Queen and King of England's palate. This is bottled at 40% ABV. It is the Crown Royal Distilling Company, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Peter White, our Ontario friend, you might have something to say with this. So here we go. Crown Royal. Now, as I said in the beginning of this, my country is embarrassing in this respect. And the 3 whiskeys that we've had, if you can call them that, are none of them have even got a 1 star out of 5. So will the Canadian gift to the King and Queen of England. Get over a 1.5. Again, my score is 0.75 or below is no, as in Darth Vader screaming absolutely no in that horrible film, Revenge of the Sith. 1 to 175 is a absolute do not recommend. Where will Crown Royal fall? Let's find out. That's the color. It looks pretty nice. Again, whether they chill talking about things like chill filtration and colorant with whiskeys like this are hilarious. If you don't remember, our good friends at Southern Comfort proudly told you that they have caramel colorant added. Here we go. Crown Royal. So a little bit of that maple syrup, no pun intended. Vanilla, little spice like nutmeg. I'm even getting hints of green apple. There's a little bit of a dry oaky note to it as well. So again, sweet, getting a little bit more dynamic with some, relatively speaking, with some spice or I'm sorry, some fruit notes. And again, a bit of oak char, a little bit of dry spice oak char. Okay. It smells like a whiskey. Here we go. Cilantro. Okay. Wow. This is not a good whiskey. Why isn't it a good whiskey? It is incredibly dry. And I mean in a way, look, when you have a good bourbon or a good scotch that has a dry finish, usually it's supplemented by notes of dark chocolate, cocoa, creme de menthe, coffee bean. This is just dry oak with like a hint of milk chocolate to it. Trash finish. As for the palate, moderately sweet. There's just nothing. There's nothing to say about this. There's just, I'm like struggling to say, other than the finish, I'm struggling to say anything about this. A little bit of banana. The finish sucks. This is the top with. Here's the thing, the best. This is better than the Seagrams. The reason this is better than the Seagrams, the reason it's better than the Seagrams is that it doesn't taste like alcohol. It doesn't have a sweetened alcohol finish. What this has instead is like an oaky finish. Let's put some water in it. It's an oaky finish. There's a little bit of something. There's something in here that resembles whiskey. Whiskey worth, again, the fact that this is number one in Not Wild Turkey, Four Roses, Woodford, even some of the other stuff we saw is just a testament to the American palate. Here we go. Okay. Banana, green apple, but God, that's still got that sour thing in the end. Okay. It's a 1. It's a 125. 125 out of 5. I do not recommend this, but if you need it, you go. There you go. 125. It's a competent, it's at least resembling competency. But this is an embarrassment. I mean, this is an embarrassment. I guarantee. Here's the thing: this is the brands, not the bottles. So, in theory, one could argue that the top whiskey could be Canadian Crown XR or one of the decent Crown Royal whiskeys. It's not. It's the United States. It's not. It's this one. I guarantee. Or the apple or peach or whatever, mango or something like that. It ain't the good ones that got that number one. So let's not even try to split hairs. So what we got going on here basically is a pedestrian, boring. I'm sorry for the King and Queen of England. What is this? It sucks. But look, if you got $20 in your pocket and you need to get a damn bottle of whiskey, this one's not the worst. It's way better than the other three we've had. Way better. But I can guarantee you, if I looked at this list, there are whiskeys on here that I would take over this in a heartbeat. I would take Jim Beam. I would, maybe not Jack Daniels. I don't know. Again, we're talking about the basic releases. Definitely Four Roses. Definitely Wild Turkey. Definitely Woodford Reserve. Definitely Bullied. Definitely Knob Creek. There aren't even questions. But marketing and sweetness do wonders on the American palate, and that's what we're dealing with here. Crown Royal, 1.25 out of 5. It is not the worst thing I've ever had. I don't think it's worth your money. There are many alternatives to all of these. Because I guarantee you, a bottle of Crown at this price in a full bottle is going to cost you $25. I mean, you're talking, you're $5 away from Four Roses small batch. Just think about that. You're $4 or $5 away from a Four Roses small batch. You are almost at the same price as an Elijah Craig small batch. You are, go on. Right? Marketing, sweetness, all of this. That's why this list looks like the way it does. Get better, America. 1.25 out of 5. We are going to wrap there on the list. Now, I am not going to wrap the show. I do want to catch up on the chat. And I have another whiskey that I have been primed to drink that is going to knock all of this horrible mediocrity out of my mouth. We will get into that in just a second, but I got to finish this Crown. No. I'm glad I did this. This is humbling. This was humbling. This reminds me. Because sometimes, y'all, and I don't know if you feel this, but I do. Sometimes you go to the store, and you remember back in the day when you first got into whiskey, and you were like, oh, man, there's just no way I'm going to ever spend over $50 on a whiskey. And then you're like, oh, there's no way I'll never ever spend over $100 on a whiskey. And now it's like, I can't walk into a good liquor store without spending $200. Like, there's just no way. This reminds you why. So it was kind of fun. I appreciate you guys all being part of the journey here. This was a good time. My palate is shit. It is trashed. It's just trashed. Again, SoCo was just god awful in every way. This is all just awful. The last thing I'll say before we shift gears here. This is as bad as this is. I'm glad that this list exists, and I'm glad that these people are drinking this stuff. You know why? Because we got enough to worry about, malt heads, whiskey fans. We got enough to worry about with cost going up because of bourbon, the bourbon bubble, now this, the Springbank bubble, all this, people drinking good stuff. Like, keep them drinking this. Somebody's got to drink this shit. They can drink this. Bring those prices down for us. I'm doing a disservice to our movement by doing this live stream, but whatever. I'm an American. It's my right. Okay. Trash. It is time to fix my palate and catch up with the 20 folks that are watching, which is awesome. Again, Crown Royal is number one. It's clearly the winner of the four ones that I tasted. I knew that if I put Knob or Bully, like those would kill any of these. Now it's time to bring out the equalizer. It's time to bring us back to reality. And there's only one whiskey that can do it, and it's this one right here. And it is a signatory. You want to talk about shifting gears. We're going to shift gears here. This is a signatory cask strength 2014 vintage Bunnahabhain Stoisha heavily peated, selected by Jack Rose Dining Saloon, one of the best whiskey bars in the United States. So we're going to really get into Americana here. What is America really about? It's about selecting damn good barrels. And this heavily peated Bunnahabhain, bottled at a robust 59.2%, is going to cure what ails me. So let's do it. Love me Bunna, love me a heavily peated whiskey, love me signatory. Bada bing, bada boom. Spend your money on this. Let me catch up on the chat. Where are we at? Yes, Jack the Pickle Hound, absolutely right. They do have some decent high range stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Michael Pesley, I got you, buddy. I got you. CR you're drinking is a Barwell drink. Yeah. Almost all corn. Okay. Agreed. Yes. Kapil's in the house joining us from India. What's up, brother? Cheers, man. Great to see. Oh, God. That's the smell of peat. Such a nice, dense. This is like a Lafroig peat. It's one of the only times I've ever had a non-Lafroig whiskey that smelled like a Lafroig. It has some of that medicinal quality. It's like a splice between Kalila and Lafroig when it comes to the peat on these Bunnahabhain Stoishas. What up, brother? Thank you for sticking around, sir. No, I will never do it again. And you know what? It was fun to mix things up a little bit. Why not, right? I 100% agree. I drink oil over some of these. Engine oil. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. It's great. Richie Z's in the house. Richie, how are you, sir? What a fun life. Glad to have you. Richie joining us from somewhere out in the desert. Great to see you, man. Always good to have Richie Z in the house. The world is a better place with Richie Z in the house. Do I put my address in? Daniel, let me tell you, man. If you put your address in here, you will get samples of this. And I shudder to think why you would want to take the opportunity to drink every drop of this away from some poor bastard looking for some booze on the streets of Chicago, because that's where this is going. Leo, speaking of Springbank bottle, local Bevmo had a bottle of Springbank 10, Karen 12, 69 each. Okay, well, that's not bad. You ain't going to find those prices much longer. Yeah, I agree with Greg. Grab those. For what it's worth, Seagram's 16 years Crown Royal rises, Peter. Oof. Oh, your face when you smell that good whiskey. It was like you can't life. And Ben's back on. What up, Ben? Yeah, man. You look, can a man who's full ever understand a man who's starving? You got to starve every once in a while. I'm making this. I'm just going to go with this. Is a spiritual thing I just did. No. I do want to give it. We're at the little past the hour mark. I do want to give a shout out to Daniel and Peter White for the super chats. I appreciate you guys so very much. I promise that those dollars will go towards good whiskey and show production. They will never again. They will never be used for the shit that we just went through. But anyway, here we are. We are talking Bunnahabhain Stoisha, and the reason I chose this whiskey should be pretty self-evident if you've been hanging around. This is going to knock out everything that could possibly still be happening in my mouth, of which there is a lot, and it is not pleasant. Let me just tell you. So here we go. I'm not even going to give you notes. We'll get to the notes after this. I just got to do this, y'all. This is for my health and well-being. Sláinte, happy Tasty Tuesday, man. It's great to be back live with everyone. What a monster of a whiskey. Absolute monster. Is it the best heavily peated whiskey I've had? No. Is it good? Yes. I love Bunnahabhain, and I love a nice heavily peated Bunnahabhain, and of course Jack Rose, being someone who lived in DC for a while, I got mad respect for that place. That place rivals any whiskey bar in America. I defy you to find a better. In fact, if you don't believe me, just look at their website, Jack Rose Downing Saloon. Just look at the whiskeys they have. It'll blow your mind. 59.2%. It's probably about a 6.5-7-year-old whiskey. Signatory, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, six years. This is what Pete's made for, I think. He says, I love it more. Yeah. You bet, Richie, man. No, not a penance. It just came out of look, it was 2 weeks ago, we were chatting, and I came across this site and I was going through it on the show live, and it just became a thing, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go buy some of these and taste them. You can't just be doing good whiskey every week, right? I wanted to make it interesting, or at least just have some fun. So I hope that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Better me than you, I would assume, right? It ain't gonna happen again. That was bad. Greg out in NC. YouTube version of Jackass. Basically, right? Basically. Bad stuff, man. Bad stuff. Ben dreaming. So this is called the Stoisha, Ben. Bunnahabhain Stoisha. What you see here now, this is not something that they bottle, but it is something that they have bottled by independent bottlers. Signatory is one. You will find this. Others. Cadenheads does a Stoisha. Stoisha just means, I'm sorry, I might be wrong on this, but I believe it just means heavily peated. So what you're basically looking at is just like independent bottlings of a heavily peated Bunnahabhain. This one in particular, 59.2%, about 6.5 years old, non-chill natural, selected by Jack Rose Dining Saloon, Washington, D.C. That's basically what you're looking at here, but there are multiple versions of this. This is like the heavily peated Bunna. They also have a heavily peated one called the Crockvana, which is a travel exclusive. You can buy it, outside of airports on some websites, but basically, Bunnahabhain is not they're on island, but they're not, known for heavily peated whiskey. So there's this one. There's I think there's one called the Chochek Ada, which is like one of the other peated ones. I've never had it. But the Stoisha, this is big time. Yeah. Yeah, keeping it interesting, man. They are, and they're not bad. Loves Bunnahabhain, yeah. Love Jack Rose. Oh, yeah. Michael Besley, you would know. Living in MD, man. If, you're not far from the district. I used to live not far. I mean, I would take the red line up there a couple times, and I did epic tastings. I had some Willets there. I mean, the thing about that place, you got to bring money because the whiskeys they have there are like nowhere else. But I got a line on a liquor store here in the States that sells a lot of, like they're in DC. They get a lot of Jack Rose picks, and so I'm able to get a bunch. I just got a Kleinleash 10 and a Kalila 13 Jack Rose pick from them. And, they do a good job. I've had some of their Blanton's picks and stuff. I mean, they just, it's Jack Rose. They're top of the line, in my opinion. Peter Wise is the Ben Nevis 6-year cask, heavily peated, is amazing as well. Ooh, that sounds delicious. And Signatory Edgeadors has been Dream Hunter. Kenneth Hess is in the house. What up, man? I think I still drink Dos Equis from time to time. Can you see, man? Chochek Ada, yeah. Had a sample and have one more I'm going to give to my brother. Yeah, that one is the Chochek Ada. It's like 2 double stack, double smoke. It's like one of their heavily peated ones, but I don't know. I've never had it. That one I just do not know. But they're just, I mean, Jack Rose is not the only place that does the Stoisha Bunabix. They just, you can get these, there's signatory versions, there's Caden heads. I mean, there's a couple of them. Leo. Stoisha is the name given to penis Buddha. How the name is taken from a nearby lock. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Jack Rose clip. Oh, that's good because I just got one. And I got a Clenleash 10. They're both cast strengths too. They're single malts of Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking forward to those. Top D's in the house. What up, Ohio? I'd love to work for a place that has access to be picky. Well, yeah, man. You and me too, brother. I have a few different Stoishas from Signatory that are excellent, says Dram Demon Hunter. Or, I'm sorry, Dram Dude. 4 to 6 years old. D-chart rechart. Yeah, this one's a D-chart rechart too. All distilled around the same time. Yeah, definitely. Daniel H. at Malmuse reports from Benromic 10 after the Brooklet 18 repeated. But dude, I love it. Benromic 10 is great stuff. Chichika just means this. Means smoky too. It's a sherried version of the original Chochek. Okay, I have not had that one. That I gotta try. I've not had the Chochek. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm just loving having this Buna in the glass right now after the shit we just went through. Again, like, comment, subscribe. If you're hanging out, just lingering, say hi in the chat. Let me know your city. We'd love to give you a shout out. If you are new to the channel and enjoyed tonight's weird tasting, this is not the norm, but hit that sub anyway. And of course, smash that like button, man. You all know the deal. I should mention for Patreon supporters, check your inbox. The last review of Independent Bottling April is in your inbox right now. That bottling was That Boutique Whiskey Company's Port Charlotte 14-year-old cast strength. Check it. It's in your email. That will be dropping on Friday for everybody else. I'm also queuing up Patreon exclusive review for May, so keep an eye on your inboxes for that as well. But Indie April was a lot of fun. Did a bunch of really great independent bottlings. I'm going to do that again sometime soon, but keep an eye out for that one. That'll be dropping Friday. Was there a best of the worst tonight? Said Ken. Yes. Yeah, the best of the worst is definitely the Crown. Yeah. The Crown Royal is the best of the worst. I did throw scores on these just for the hell of it. I picked 4 of the ones that I don't think I could remember having anytime recently or ever and were available. So those were the 2 factors. The 4 that I chose were Southern Comfort, Seagram 7 American Crown Whiskey, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, and Crown Royal. 0.5 out of 5 on the Southern Comfort, 0.75 on the Crown Seagram 7, 0.75 on the Fireball, 1.25 on the Crown Royal. So there you go. Don't buy any of them. Save your money. You can get better whiskey at the prices that they ask for those. That's the long and short of it. Where's Winston? I see, he stayed fucking clear of this. He knew I wasn't drinking anything good tonight, at least for the first hour. So he stayed away from me. He wanted no part of this. Okay. I am going to wrap things up here, finishing up the Stoisha. I do appreciate y'all for hanging out. And again, thanks everybody for the kind words and support after last week. I know I missed the show because I was sick. Great to be back in the saddle. I'm going to have a good show for y'all next week. Again, keep an eye out for that Port Charlotte 14 indie bottling from That Boutique Whiskey Company review dropping Friday. And until I see you all again, stay safe, be well. I'm going to ride off into the sunset with a dram of this Stoisha and Hope you guys had a good time. It was good to reconnect with everybody, man. Much love. Cheers.